Did you know that nervous system states are contagious? So let's start here. Let's talk about what we are currently facing collectively. We have escalating geopolitical conflicts. We have extreme weather events, whether we're talking about solar flares, earthquakes. Right now, we're in the middle of an extreme heat cycle. We have technological displacement, we have economic instability and increasing survival pressures. And all of this is felt by each of us. All of this touches us in some way. This is I don't know if it's nearly as intense or more intense than what we experienced in 2020, but it's pretty close. And we all feel it. We're all being impacted. Now, when we have this kind of instability, what kind of goes hand in hand with instability is this sort of inner sense of my survival, my safety might be at stake. It might be compromised in some way. And when that happens, our nervous system activates and we go into fight or flight states. So, and these states are contagious. So basically, what I'm alluding to is that we're swimming right now in a sea of activation. Now, the reason that I say that these states are contagious, and I'll give you a couple of examples. Imagine that you walk into a room where an argument has just happened, and I'm sure you've heard this example before. You walk into a room where an argument has just happened. It is not happening currently, but you still know that something has happened in that room. Now, we often frame that from an energetic perspective or the idea of our extrasensory perceptions, but I want to ground it in another way. Because our nervous states are contagious, what's happening when we walk into that room is that we're sensing the nervous system states of the two occupants that were just there, both of which are likely still activated. So our nervous system, which is the energetic system of the body, and it taps into the larger energetic field, just so you know that I'm not really talking about two different things. Our nervous system, our inner energetic system picks up on that larger energetic field, which is activated. Okay. Another example might be you're out in traffic and maybe you started out the drive calm, relaxed, just really in the flow, and somebody cuts you off or someone honks at you for no reason or whatever it might be. But basically, you've just come into contact with an activated driver, and then notice what happens to your own state. You will tend to move towards more activation. Okay, so this is something for us to just be really mindful of in this time, that especially as we're out in public, we might notice that we're feeling more activated. We might notice that the people around us are more activated. So when we do this work of understanding our nervous system, then we can influence the field in the opposite direction. So what I mean by that is when we start to do this work of understanding our nervous system, when we begin to notice in real time, okay, I'm starting to get activated, when we develop tools through practice to regulate the nervous system, and in other words, to bring it down or to calm it down, when we do that work, we can influence, we can modulate our nervous system better in real time. So when we go out in public and we notice that we're starting to get activated using various tools so that we can come into more of a regulated state. So using the breath, for instance, to calm the body, using somatic practices, feeling your feet on the floor, noticing things in your environment, bringing you back into a state of calm, that also is contagious. And so when we do this work, we can really influence the field around us in a very positive way. So if you're someone that's feeling the turmoil of the world and wondering what you can do, I would say to you that this is probably the very best thing that you can do, is learning to read your nervous system in real time, noticing as the activation is happening that it is occurring, and then immediately having tools at hand and tools that you practice regularly to bring yourself back into a state of regulation. Now we're sharing not in the activated state, but we're sharing regulation within the dysregulated field, and that calms everything.